Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. I'm going to spend some time with Chris Stone. He and I are now regular chatters, it seems, these days because of his great emails that he sends us, keeping us up to date both here at Price of Business and over at usdailyreview.com about what's happening in the faith consumer front. I want to talk to him a little bit about, first of all, about the Stone Agency, but also faith-driven consumer before we talk about our topic today. Chris Stone, welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about the Stone Agency as well as the faith-driven consumer.
Well, at the Stone Agency and Faith-Driven Consumer, we're mixing who we are and what we do in a unique way. We are the national experts at a subset of the Christian marketplace called Faith-Driven Consumers. That's 15% of the population, which equates to 46 million people. So look at it on a national scale, similar in size to the Hispanic marketplace. And these people are very important to the marketplace because they spend $1.75 trillion. And our goal, on the one hand, is to advocate for this market segment, and on the other hand, to build a bridge between this market segment and American brands. These people are keenly interested in engaging in the marketplace with brands that respect and will embrace them.
Chris, what exactly is your role in the agency?
Well, I'm the founder of the Stone Agency and a principal there, and also the founder of Faith-Driven Consumer. So this is really my life's work. Okay,
very, very good. Talk a little bit about the movie Heaven is for Real. I saw it last weekend. I'll be honest with you, I don't go to the movie theater hardly at all unless it's an epic, big screen film, something that demands that kind of, surround sound and that kind of attention. It's Heaven is for Real is a small movie. It's something you can watch easily in the comfort of your living room, and I normally would. But I like to vote. I like to vote with my dollars. And so I went and saw that movie because of the fact that you gave it, I think, a 4-star out of 5 rating, and I want to encourage Hollywood to do more. And I won't take too much credit for it, but I noticed that it was in the top 3 and has been now for several weeks since it's been released. And that's because I think there's a lot of other Christians who would normally watch it on Netflix, normally watch it on DVD when it eventually got to DVD and Netflix, rather than spend that kind of money for that size, if you will, film. Both in length, it wasn't really, it was only a little over an hour long, both in length and in the visual, but it was well worth it. It was the best money I probably spent all weekend. And do you see that? Do you see that happening? Is that with faith-based oriented movies that are accurate, unlike Noah, you're getting the opportunity for individuals to come and vote with their money, even for smaller films, which are cheaper to produce, as a way to sending a message to the movie theaters out there. They really should look seriously at faith-based movies. What do you think about that?
Well, that's what we've been talking about for several months now. Hollywood has awakened to the faith-driven consumer and the overall Christian marketplace in a significant way. They're going to produce probably 16 movies this year. Paramount's just announced the remake of Ben-Hur. There's a continual process because they have realized they've realized for some time, but they're now acting on it, that Christian consumers are a meaningful market segment who have unique needs and taste and desires. Heaven is for Real is a great example. As of last weekend, it has done $52 million on a $12 million budget. And what's important to note is that while as you indicated, it was number 3, on a per-screen basis, it's a strong number 2, which means on a relative basis, it's doing even better than that number 3 would reflect. And the reason it's doing so is because it resonates not only with Christians, but with the mainstream market as well. It's got crossover opportunity, like so many of the movies that they're producing. And also Christians are saying, hey, we have been longing to see something in the theater that resonates with us, and now that it's being produced, they are showing up, and Hollywood is reaping a profit. and profit is defined as giving people what they need and what they want, so it's a win for everybody.
Yeah, no question about it. What was the budget on Heaven is for Real, and what has been the box office so far?
Looks like from Box Office Mojo that the budget was $12 million, and as of the end of last weekend, it was $52 million.
Wow. Gotta love that. I think it's fantastic. Obviously, the concern with Ben-Hur, I gotta tell you, there's so much original and uncovered content or poorly done movies in the past. I kind of hate to see an epic film like Ben-Hur get redone. I hold my breath at the thoughts of them trying to do another Ten Commandments, which is one of the greatest religious films of all times. Can you imagine anyone other than Charlton Heston being Moses? But obviously, always a big concern is that going to have an environmental message like Noah, or somehow an environmental or social equality. That would obviously be something that might be resonating out of Ben-Hur. Or is it going to have the original message that it always intended? And I know you guys keep an eye on that.
Well, absolutely we do. We actually released some information recently about Ben-Hur. We're very positive about that. Our quote was, Paramount has learned from their mistake with Noah. In the remake of Ben-Hur, they have hired Roma Downey and Mark Burnett to be a part of that project. They have proven that they can produce a movie that resonates with the Christian audience, most recently with Son of God, and then prior to that, the Bible miniseries. So we have great aspirations for that movie. And, the Charlton Heston 1959 movie was actually a remake of the original Ben-Hur. So this will be, to our account, the third version of it, and we have high expectations, but we'll be following it, and to the degree which is appropriate, we'll be speaking into that, trying to help them reach the audience that they intend.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was more than one Ten Commandments, although I don't know of one off the top of my head. But there's certain movies that don't need to be redone after they've been done. That's just my opinion. But you know what? I hope they do a good job, and I certainly will spend the money on it just because, again, I want to foster an environment in Hollywood that they give value to this huge constituency that's been ignored. And the obvious intrigue that's out there regarding this situation I think is fascinating.
Absolutely. As consumers, we have an obligation. If we're going to complain about the lack of product, goods, or services, and then when someone produces something that meets our needs, we have an obligation to then engage with them, or they'll do like anyone else who doesn't get the response that they're seeking, they'll quit. So we do have an obligation to engage with Hollywood. We live in a transparent world where it's very easy to give your feedback online, in social media, whatever your venue of choice is, and say, I went to the movie, I spoke with my wallet. I went on Facebook, I went on Twitter, and I spoke out and said, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, but do so in a positive manner. And as faith-driven consumers, we believe that will give us a place in the marketplace where we can be embraced and respected with goods and services that are targeted toward us. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's fantastic. What website would you like to drive people to?
Well, if you would like to know more about Faith Driven Consumer, that's a simple thing. Just go to faithdrivenconsumer.com. Check out our reviews of major American brands, of current movies, and learn what's going on in the community. It's an opportunity to interact with other faith-driven consumers.
We've got to wrap it up. Sorry.
No problem. There you go.
Yeah, very good. Thanks so much for being with us. faithdrivenconsumers.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us today.
Chris Stone, great stuff. When we come back, more for you, and you're listening to The Price of Business.